Hello everybody, welcome back to Town City State. In today's video, we're going to be putting in a tier list California college campuses. I have about 23 college campuses here on the tier list. I've actually been to all of these college campuses within the last 5 or so years. Let's call it four or so years. So I have a lot of experience with about every single one of these college campuses I've visited, spent some time, spent in some cases a lot of time. So let's just get right into it. We're not going to be going in order. I think we'll just start out randomly. And first, I think I'm going to pick UCSD. Now, UCSD, I think, deserves an A ranking. Yeah, I think this is where I would put it. To start with, it's a beautiful campus. There's always kids walking around, a lot of impressive buildings, old and new, lots of development. This campus is going to look nothing like it does now in 10 years, and I'm kind of here for it. They're building new, dense student housing. They're building more on-campus dining and convenience, which they already have a ton of. I mean, they have a Target on campus and just so many eating options and areas to convene. It's a really, really nice campus overall. And of course, it has a few really cool quirks. I mean, if you've ever been there, they've got this really cool building, this engineering building. I might show it on the screen here, but it's like leaning. It's really a marvel, and so is their library. Really special, really cool campus. Always stuff to do. They've got even music venues on campus and everything. So I think it's a really underrated campus. But at the same time, can I say it's underrated because people love it. People love it. It's right on the beach. And as far as, location goes, it's in La Jolla, great city in Southern California. Lots of world-class shopping and dining nearby with the Westfield UTC Mall. So just overall, really great place to spend your college career over here. Yeah. And I guess sticking within the San Diego theme, I'll make this one bigger. But it is USD, which is the University of San Diego. I think that is the city that has the most schools on here. Yeah, just about. I mean, Long Beach is not really LA, so yeah, just UCLA and USC for the 2 LA schools, but 3 San Diego schools. And you know what? We'll just bang out the first 3 right off the bat. So, University of San Diego, yeah, great location in the center of the city limits of San Diego. One of the most beautiful college campuses in America. Really, just the detailed mission architecture. It's very European, very Italian, European, Spanish. Gorgeous campus, like really, and it's perched on top of this hill. You really do get some of the best views San Diego can offer. As far as you could see the city on clear days, you could see the beach on clear days. As far as things being around the campus, that's the only reason I'm giving it this B ranking, and not the A like UCSD, because honestly, yes, it is central. However, it doesn't have any direct rail connection like this one and this one, which we'll talk about in a second. But overall, just a really great area, of San Diego to be in. Not very walkable, and it is on top of that hill. But if you do have a car, and you're going to need one, University of San Diego is a great campus. I don't know much about their housing, history and any developments on that, but I can tell you they have some great sporting facilities. And yeah, it's just overall a really solid campus. So I'm going to put it in the B. It doesn't reach these 2 territories, and you'll see it's kind of, I would say, a little bit above average. I'm definitely giving it a B+, but it doesn't get an A, therefore it stays right there. And so I talked about it before, SDSU. Now this one, pardon me. This one is going to go in the A category. And yeah, I'll blow these up a little bit as I'm ranking them, just so you can kind of see the logos better. So SDSU, a lot to say about SDSU. I've spent a lot of time there. It's really one of the most interesting California college campuses. And I think for the last few years, and really the next few, the university is going to turn a new leaf. There are parts of campus that feel incredibly dated, but there are parts of campus that feel really new and vibrant and lively and have a lot of new construction and just a lot of things for the students there to do. The union is one of the best student unions I've ever been to. They just need to fill it up a little bit more in terms of like restaurants and stuff like that. because other universities do have them beat on that category. But this definitely is an A tier campus. I almost struggle putting UCSD in the S tier. And you know what? I'm going to do it. Let's just do this. Bang, bang, boom. We got S, A, and B for the 3 San Diego schools. Overall, SDSU, the pedestrian infrastructure and bike infrastructure and skateboard infrastructure is pretty good. And therefore walking infrastructure is decent as well. Direct trolley access, so you can, if you're at SDSU, you can take the trolley right into downtown, even down to Mexico. And even over here, you can actually take it, yes, to UCSD. I think you might have to transfer anyway. But yeah, so unlike this one, these two have rail connection. Huge, for college freshmen who are not allowed to have cars, I think, in most schools, including those schools. So yeah, just a really great campus, beautiful architecture. The football stadium, SDSU is kind of a big football school. So the football stadium is a 15-minute trolley ride off campus. I don't love when football stadiums of colleges are off campus. I kind of just feel like it ruins the vibe. But anyway, they're doing pretty good. They will improve. Maybe we'll get to S one day, but I think it's SDSU is fair to say for A tier. Pardon me. UCLA is next, and I know you've all been waiting for it. Let's put it up. Let's put this in B. Maybe a hot take. It's a large campus, and there's always something going on event-wise. That's one thing I did notice during my time at UCLA. I have a little bit of a critique on Westwood Village. Now, if you know anything about UCLA, their kind of college town is called Westwood Village, and you just have a lot of businesses there, dining, shopping, various retail businesses, coffee shops. I think it is a little overhyped though, and it is pretty sketchy, at certain parts of the day. You just got a lot of people wandering around aimlessly, potentially dangerous people. So it's not the safest feel. And I feel like in recent years or months, I haven't seen a lot of students really walking around over there as much as they used to be. It's just kind of gotten this bad reputation recently. But as far as the vibes on campus, now that's off campus, Westwood Village. On campus, the vibes are great. UCLA is a great school. I feel like everybody knows it when they're walking around. It's like, yep, I'm walking around UCLA. I go here or whatever. Beautiful campus, beautiful buildings, decent location as far as, being on the west side of Los Angeles and all the amenities and perks there of living on the west side of LA. Can be sketchy at times. But of course, one of the biggest things is world-class sports teams. And while their football stadium is it an hour off campus? And it is a big reason why. I think for your college campus to be, really well rated and, fly up the ranks, I feel like your football stadium needs to be on campus. So UCLA struggles there. But, the basketball and the other sports are on there and on campus over there at Westwood Village. But yeah, so just a solid school. I'm going to rank it over here. It's not over here yet. I think, just as far as the location and I don't know, I feel like it is that mid-tier school. And we'll get to one that I think is the better school in terms of the campus. I mean, in a moment. But anyway, we're moving on fast to Cal Poly SLO. Great. Overall, I really like this school, and I'm going to put it right here. This also could be controversial, but honestly, I really like spending time at Cal Poly SLO. Like, really nice campus, beautiful new freshman village and dining hall. It's pretty spread out, but there are walking paths, just cutting through campus, making it really, really walkable, which is great. Downtown SLO is a long walk or a short Uber or bike. I mean, an easy bike ride from downtown. So if you want to go there on, your days off, if you want to go there to study, coffee shops, downtown SLO is really a great place to be as a student, and it's really close to Cal Poly. And speaking of SLO and Cal Poly, just the whole atmosphere, that city lights up on Friday, Saturday nights. The city, it's really great. The bar scene, nightlife. I know that doesn't have to do a lot with the actual on-campus stuff, but on campus, really great, really good vibes. Just easy to get around. There, a lot of new construction, which is not something you see in smaller town schools over here. But nevertheless, I do think it deserves the A ranking. So yeah, and it's got a great view of the surrounding hills as well. I mean, the location-wise, SLO is just a beautiful area. So anyway, on to USC, which I said I was going to mention. I think I'm going to change my opinion. I was going to put it in B, but I do think it is ahead of UCLA as far as the campus goes. Is it though, actually? You know what? No, I'm going to put it right on there. I think that's only fair. The only reason I struggle to put it higher is because, man, is that area so sketch. That area is just really, really sketchy around USC. It's kind of near downtown LA. I mean, on campus is so nice and beautiful and very kept up, and there's security guards to you have to pass through to get your car through into onto campus. So a lot of security, and it's obvious why. It's a big homeless population around school, but that's just something that you have to live with in certain parts of LA. Not all parts even, but yeah, just certain parts. Okay, let's just talk about the vibes on campus though. USC, you want to know how it is. It's really great. It's beautiful. You really feel like it's a small campus, so it's very communal, and I feel like there's so many places to just set a towel down and read and write and study and just stay to yourself, but also a lot of area to convene with other students. Beautiful buildings, beautiful, great history, amazing sports that you could see on campus there. But yes, the second you cross off the street, you go from this contrast of really wealthy university to almost straight up poverty-stricken neighborhoods. So it's pretty stark and shocking, honestly. But like I said, you are in LA and you're close to downtown LA, so you've got those job opportunities for students. Really good. USC Village is the highlight of USC, though. I mean, it's this not brand new, but relatively new freshman village. It just has world-class restaurants and dining choices for students, which I think is such a big draw for any college campus, really. Yeah, so it's just a really nice campus. And I think with that, we will go over to UCSB. And UCSB, I'm going to put it in C. It's going to be our first C school. I feel like this is a hot take too, because so many people like UCSB. It's close to the beach. That's about it. I mean, that's why it's in the C category. I mean, it really is a mid-campus when you think about it. It's not very, yes, it's walkable to the nearby neighborhood. I forget what the neighborhood is called. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, Isla Vista. But other than that, it's not walkable to Santa Barbara. And I don't like this trend of schools naming themselves UC Santa Barbara and not being in the city of Santa Barbara. I think it's in the city of Goleta, technically, which is a good 10, 15 minute drive from downtown Santa Barbara, give or take. So it doesn't have a lot of nearby amenities other than Isla Vista, which is basically just kind of this enclave of just frat houses and kind of dingy businesses. I know they are building it up in recent years and making it somewhat nicer and not as sketchy at times, but yeah, so it doesn't get a D. It's a C. It's a perfectly fine campus. The biggest thing is that literally the freshman village is on the beach. Like, you can walk right to it. You could just wake up in the morning and go surf, which I know is a big draw for a lot of California students. So UCSB, it's got its draws. If you're a surfer, this is pretty much the perfect school. I mean, even SDSU has so many surfers, and UCSD to some extent, but it doesn't compare to UCSB, sorry. So yeah, it's going to get to C. On campus, it's pretty pedestrian friendly. The weather's always going to be pretty good. Overall, it's pretty nice, but I think as far as the UC rankings go here, I've got Berkeley, Irvine, Riverside. It's not Berkeley, you know what I mean? It's not UCLA either. So yeah, we're gonna keep it keep it on the C. And I think it's time we pick up the first kind of square on our tier list here finally and rank it. SJSU. You know what? I have a change of heart. I originally was thinking that this was going to be B, but I think I'm going to throw it an A. Could be controversial as well, given that it's just such a small, tiny campus and school in a sense, but I really, really like the vibes there. Now, the parking structure is one of the worst things known to mankind. Keeping it from the S because if it just had, I don't know, like I can't say if it just had better car infrastructure because that's not what schools are for. It would be ranked higher, but I think A is perfect. I mean, it's a small, tiny, cozy like block in the middle of downtown San Jose. And you have to remember, San Jose is one of the biggest schools in the nation, not only California. I think it's like it's like tied number 10th with Austin in that top 10 most populous cities in the US list. So you're living in a big city. You are right in the middle of a big city. Now, it's not as dense as big cities like New York City and Miami or whatever, but it's a really great place to be. A lot of amenities and a really great new student union that's just awesome to hang out at. The campus village seems a bit dated, but nice enough and well kept. And of course, you have easy access to, airplanes. You are in downtown, which is where the airport is, and even light rail and I believe rail in downtown San Jose there. But overall, some of the most beautiful buildings, really old, but really well kept and just gorgeous. The vibes, it's dense and urban, which is like one of the only dense urban campuses that California really has, if I'm honest. So just really, from an urbanist perspective, this is a great school to go to, and thus why it is in A. And I guess on that note, we can go ahead and pick UC Santa Cruz up. I might get somebody, screaming at their TV or at their laptop. UC Santa Cruz, am I going to rank it D? And that's the question. Like, if you've ever been to UCSC, it's so weird. I mean, first of all, it's humongous. It's sprawling. But at the same time, it's whimsical almost. I mean, it's like this college campus that you have to, drive 10 minutes outside of downtown Santa Cruz to get to. And it's like stepping into a fairy tale. Is that a good thing? Maybe. Maybe I keep it in, I put it in C. I mean, it's a whimsical campus. Is that a compliment? I mean, it's really nestled in the trees. It is beautiful, but like, gosh, it's so hilly too. You would just see these students struggling walking up their hill to class. Like, really, if you live in any dorm or whatever, you are going to be getting a workout going to your class. Just know that, and I'm sure that's online everywhere, but I definitely felt that while walking through as a visitor, so I can't imagine what students, have to deal with. Downtown Santa Cruz isn't walkable from campus, again, just because it is so secluded from like pretty much anything. The architecture is very charming and kind of brutalist, which is interesting to put charming and brutalist in the same same sentence there. But hey, it's got its own vibe going on. But really, having a car is a must here, or at least an electric bike or scooter, because like those hills are just insane. And also, campus dining is severely lacking, So I don't know, like. Is it on par with UCSB? I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. So there it is. That's UC Santa Cruz for you. Let's go to Chapman next. And I think, let me just blow this up for you guys. I think I'm going to put Chapman in A. Yeah, it's not quite S tier. Now, that might have scared you because, I mean, why is it even up here anyway? You'd think it's more on par with like these down here because it is that small college campus. It is like a smaller liberal arts school, so it's not as big. But what it lacks for in size, it really makes up for in charm. It's got a lot of charm. It's just got a great community vibe to it. I always just saw a bunch of students hanging out with each other, utilizing that green space on college campus, but Also, you're in the best city in California, or one of the best cities in California, in my opinion. That's Orange, California. I rank that very highly in my rankings of college campus, or rankings of California cities. And yeah, so you're just right there. Would you say it's urban? I don't know. But overall, yeah, I like the dorms. I like the look of the school. It's got a great look. It's got a great vibe. And as far as urbanist perspectives, you're really close to rail. It's very pedestrian friendly. I mean, it is a small campus, but even walking into Orange is pretty pedestrian friendly. And location wise, you're near Santa Ana, Anaheim, Newport Beach. You're near a lot of great places as well, Costa Mesa even. But yeah, limited but decent campus dining options. But again, you're very close to some of the best food SoCal has to offer in the Orange County. I mean, I think Orange County just had some of the best food in California. So anyway, Chapman, I'm gonna rank that A actually. Yep. Now I think our first D will go to UC Irvine. Yeah, I kind of have a passion for like not liking the school for some reason. I don't know, like it's so mid. Like you always hear about these people like it's nobody's top UC. I mean, I feel like people are picking UCLA, even obviously UC Santa Barbara, maybe even Santa Cruz, Berkeley, of course, before UC Irvine. Maybe Riverside at the same. I don't know. It's just not anybody. Is it anybody's top school? And you have to think why that is. Like, it's boring. It's very boring there. It kind of has a high school-y feel. I think the layout of UC Irvine is kind of backwards. It's probably one of the most pedestrian unfriendly campuses on this list, along with UCSD. I mean, this place is too big for no reason at all. It's scattered, parking lot filled, with just one really kind of central campus, green space quad, which I don't know is pretty empty most days, but it is near, the airport, if that means anything to you, and as far as shopping and dining goes nearby, you have that kind of university center with some decent vendors. You got the Blaze Pizza, the Eureka, Mendocino Farms, Tanner Greens, Target. In the convenience department, it's okay. And of course you are in Orange County, so you have the benefits that I said with Chapman, but maybe just I don't know. It's very suburban and it's just too big for no reason. I mean, seriously. And I don't know. It doesn't, I don't know. It's a lot of, vibe grading really here. And I think it's pretty standard. Like, I think this list doesn't have too many hot takes on it. Just yet. Anyway, next up is UC Berkeley. UC Berkeley, it's a very high A. It's a very high A. It's not UCSD. UCSD, I just have a soft spot for. I just have always I've been there many, many times, and it's just, I don't know, I just really like the vibes on campus and what they're doing. But anyway, trying to rank UC Berkeley here. It's a campus with a lot of personality, whether you love it or hate it. Personally, I think Berkeley's campus is a little, overrated when comparing it to schools of similar size, prestige, and location. It has a college campus feel, but there's so many roads going through campus. You constantly kind of have to watch out for cars, and it's not the most pedestrian-friendly, campus. But I will say, location-wise, it's very good. Downtown Berkeley. When I went in 2021, a lot of things were boarded up, but I know that's changed and everything. And there's just so much history, and really ranking this high, it's just buildings, ease of access to amenities, overall on-campus vibes. I mean, and obviously there's always something to do on the Berkeley campus. There's just posters stapled to every, wooden post that there is. And so, you're never going to be bored at Berkeley. And I think that definitely carries a lot of weight in terms of ranking the campus. Cause it is very tight knit, you're at Berkeley, when you're there, and the vibes are pretty solid. I mean, pedestrian infrastructure could improve, but overall, I think this is a great college campus, and I don't think I'm going to get any pushback on that really. And as well with Stanford, and even with Stanford, I'm going to put Yeah, that's going to be our second S. Stanford is definitely on par with UCSD, and I think it might even be better. Stanford is the ideal California college campus. There's not too much I can say bad about Stanford. So, I mean, let me list the good and great. Stanford is really pedestrian friendly, gorgeously designed with so much green space and room to wander around and hang out. They have a medical center, and their football stadium is on campus that can seat up to 50K people. A short walk off campus is downtown, I believe, Palo Alto, but as well as the Stanford Shopping Center, which is just filled with great shopping and dining for the students. This campus is insanely well kept. I mean, there's not one untrimmed hedge. The Union could use some updating, but as far as like dining choices on campus, it's really great. So overall, just a really highly rated campus up there with UCSD. The dorms are beautiful, and yeah, it's like what USC could be if it was in a better area. Honestly, I think that makes such a difference. And that's just luck of the draw, really. It's just the luck of the draw. Pardon me. Next up is UC Riverside. UC Riverside, I'm going to rank in the C category. Wow, I just noticed like there's almost four straight UC schools in the C category. And hey, look, at least it's consistency from the UC brand. Because I will say, when I went to UC Riverside, it was about as underwhelming a college campus as could be, maybe rivaling this one, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, UCR, not much to say about UCR. The campus is okay. It's not too big. It's not too small. Downtown Riverside is, driving distance away. Although even there's not much to do. There's many old buildings with some, clearly being renovated in like early 2000s, but I mean, even then is like 20 years ago. So overall, pretty dated, not a lot of new construction. I think the dining is improving, but overall it's not outstanding as it is. And you know what? I just convinced myself to move it down here. So we've got the quad of mid UC school campuses. So that's just going to stay like it is. And we are going to move on to CSUN. Now, before I move on, I will say, like, it's not all bad. It kind of reminds me of a high school vibe. There's some funny statues on campus, but overall, it's a generally like average school. So it's not doing anything to impress me to even move it up to a C. Where this has like the beach and this has the whimsy. So anyway, next up is going to be CSUN. Let me just blow this up for you. CSUN, I think, is going to go in the C category. I have some kind of hot takes and some rather cold takes about CSUN. CSUN, I actually kind of enjoy being on the CSUN campus. Now, it is in the middle of Northridge, nowhere in the valley. You're not near anything. It's very unwalkable, outside the campus. It's kind of like the USC kind of vibe, but like taken down a notch. So that's why it's in the C category. Like on campus, it's pretty nice and well kept, and I think it's quite beautiful actually. The freshman village is really good, not on par again with these schools, freshman villages, but yeah. So I think it deserves a C ranking. You're within the LA city limits, so that has a couple benefits to it, I guess. But just being so far from the west side and even downtown and East LA and even the Thousand Oaks area you're really not near much, which is kind of just its biggest weakness. It's doing things right on campus, adding more food. Overall, the vibes are good, but not good enough to propel it to be. But it's definitely better than these by a long shot. This is a high C, so CSUN for what it is, it's competing with the other UCs pretty well. So that's good to see. Now, our next one is another UC Riverside dupe. Basically, these two are literally the same schools. In my opinion, UC Riverside and Cal State Fullerton are just like one and the same, really. I mean, there's not too much to say. They both feel like high school. Feel like a high school campus, like a big, maybe nicer high school campus. They're both in kind of a sketchy area. More so for Cal State Fullerton, honestly. though. It's just lacking in a lot of departments, food, amenities, walkability, overall campus vibes, overall campus events. So it gets D. Nothing is going to get an F. I took away the F category. None of these fail, really. But yeah, they are pretty mid. So, and also kind of a mid school, I guess. Where does this one rank? Point Loma Nazarene University. I'll blow this up as well. I think this one's tough. This one's tough. It's either between C or D. You know what? I'm gonna put it in C, and I'll tell you why. It's small. Okay, it's probably the smallest campus on this list. Yeah, actually by far. You may never have even heard of this college campus. I was just in San Diego. It's very close to downtown San Diego. It's on that Point Loma kind of peninsula of San Diego near Coronado Beach and all that. So location wise, I will say that's one of the biggest benefits. It's got a great location and it's very close to a lot of things, but you will need a car. Obviously, there's no urban infrastructure in Point Loma. It's like tucked behind the gates in an already like almost gated suburb. It's very tucked away. Small. It's right on the beach, so that's, I guess, a plus for some people. It's not like a beach you can swim in. It's literally on a cliff, but that's nice. It's quiet. Well, at the same time, being close to downtown. So you are close to downtown. You will just have to drive there, and it is a bit of a pain in the butt drive. But yeah, it is the fourth best school in the San Diego area. I mean, a lot of the buildings are dated. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Wow, we got right down the middle line. We got San Diego schools are just all over the place. But yeah, overall, small campus. Probably pretty tight knit. I think there was a tour there going on when I was there, so it was just and a lot of people are interested in going here. So I really don't know much about the school. Probably know the least amount out of any of these schools, but yeah, overall, pretty C tier, better than these, which is saying a lot, honestly. And then I think after that we'll go to Cal Lutheran. This is also going to be a C. I'll blow it up. I don't know how many of these I can keep blown up. Oh yeah, I've only got 5 remaining here. But yeah, not very lively school. You might not even know about this one either. It's tucked away in Thousand Oaks. Pretty suburban. I don't ever hear anybody talk about this one being a huge target school for them. But hey, some people, for sure it is. And that's why you're watching this video, I'm sure. It's a nice enough campus, actually. It's pretty small and average. The sports facilities, I did notice, look to be a lot better than similar comparable schools. So that's a plus if you're like a baseball player. It's a great school. Great facilities. Even the pool, like the swimming rec areas, which is a big plus. And I know they're probably focusing a lot on that. The dorms are okay. Pretty small, but overall very quiet. I mean, if you want a quiet school, go to Cal Lutheran. It really is quiet and very secluded. And I think maybe one of the most quiet schools as well, CSU Channel Islands is also another C tier school. I don't know if you can see this. Here, let me just blow it up a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. Nice CSU CI logo. But yeah, so Channel Islands, you might have not heard about the school either. It's actually built on a formal mental institution campus. Fun fact. That's a fact I actually, said if you're a big fan of the channel on one of my short videos, just as a fun fact. So yeah, interesting looking campus. It actually looks a lot like SDSU, which I don't know if that was on purpose, but like I feel like this is a look that a lot of campuses, would strive to model themselves after. It's a fairly new school, CSU CI. Beautiful campus, but location wise, it could not be much worse. You are in the middle of nowhere. You are in the middle of nowhere. Farm country, Ventura County. It's not on an island. Don't be fooled. It's not even near the boat area to take you to the island. So I don't know why they call this Channel Islands. Maybe that has some name appeal. Honestly, it'd probably be more fitting CSU Ventura. Yeah, CSUV, really. So it's nowhere near the Channel Islands. But anyway, yeah, it's a fine school. They are making some new. The library is beautiful, and it is like it is a nice walkable campus, um, with some decent dining choices. But it's just not blowing me away overall. So it's gonna stay in the C category. And then next we have College of the Canyons, which used to be a community college, I believe. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a D. It's very small. It's kind of nice. I'd say it's about as nice as these though. Like it's not getting higher than this, and it's certainly not as uh, founded as the other ones. So uh, you know I'm sure they're going to build this up more and more as it moves away from that community college moniker. But yeah, College of the Canyons, very car centric. Again, no walkable area or even commercial area, so the location definitely takes a hit here. It's in Santa Clarita, so if you know any of my other videos, you know how I feel about Santa Clarita. So a bit of a mixed bag, but overall, yeah, not blowing me away over there. Next, we have Long Beach, Cal State Long Beach. And I think I'm actually going to have to like blow this down a little bit. Pardon that. And put it in the D category as well. This is a campus that I was expecting a lot more from, other than the pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Long Beach. I think it deserves, the D ranking. It's pretty underwhelming. Not walkable at all to anything whatsoever, and on campus, it's just lacking a lot of that, amenity that you really want. One of the coolest things, obviously, like I said, is as that pyramid for their sports, and maybe I'll throw a picture on here. But if not, it's like one of the biggest pyramids in the U.S. Famous. I'm sure you've seen it before, but location-wise, not doing anything to blow me away. The buildings are pretty dated. It's like 60s, 70s era, like when they were just building buildings to be like just literally square buildings. It's the worst look that a lot of these campuses are guilty of, and they're now moving away from it to a more modern, urbanist, aesthetically pleasing look. I mean, even this school has the problem, and I actually haven't seen. Well, actually, UCSD does have some of those old, dated, literally dilapidating buildings, but yeah, Long Beach State is pretty much just founded on that. So, let's get out of the C and D category a little bit. Let's move it to UC Davis. Now, this is a school that's going to escape the curse of whatever this is, and it is going to be in that UCLA territory, because overall, it really is a great school. Location-wise, you're walking distance to downtown Davis, which is just a huge, and biking distance, obviously. It's a huge benefit. The vibes on this campus when I went were great. I mean, you had students just packed to the brim. I mean, this is like maybe at nighttime on like a Thursday or Friday. Very lively, soccer matches going on, and just students walking around, exploring, visiting the Union, chatting. Like, it's a very tight knit. You can tell that it's a tight knit campus, and I think anybody from UCSD would tell you that. So yeah, and it also has really great biking and walking infrastructure. That's something that I did not mention with UCSD. These guys have like their own bike network going through campus. There's like literally bike roundabouts, which is not something. I think it's something you see in like Oregon and like Washington, maybe on those campuses. But yeah, really cool, really good biking infrastructure over there. Overall, it's a pretty solid campus. The dorms are nice enough. They look pretty well kept and everything. A little dated, which is why it's keeping it from like this area. And Davis, is not a crazy impressive downtown city to be at. So again, it doesn't have like a huge appeal that way. But at least it's walking distance to a decent city. So yeah, and you're in the Bay Area-ish without being like, in the thick of it all if you don't want to. So it gives you that option, like you're midway between Sacramento and like Berkeley or whatever. So overall, decent location. Campus vibes are great. It definitely deserves the B ranking. And then finally, we reach Pepperdine. Man, a lot to say about Pepperdine. I think I'm gonna have to scooch this down though, and I think I'm gonna have to put this right down here. Now, again, this might be a hot take, but Pepperdine, it's so old, man. Like, they have no new construction whatsoever. There's a lot of like just things that they could do so much with that campus, and I know they're raking in so much money. I mean, this is maybe one of the most expensive schools in California, if not the country. And it looks like the set of Zoe 101, which is where that show was filmed, by the way. I'm not sure if you know that, but it was filmed at Pepperdine. And like nothing's changed in 20 years. I don't know. It's just so old, and the biggest draw is that coastal vibe, and that again surfer vibe that UCSB has, where you're right on the beach. But again, even like you're, I don't know if you're walking from Pepperdine to the beach because it just, it's on like a hill, and you're probably going to want to bring the car with the surfboards, and finding parking anywhere in Malibu for a surf is like a mess. It's like where everybody in LA convenes at 7 a.m. in the morning to go surfing. So overall, if surfing's the biggest draw, it's not great. Food could be a lot better. The city of Malibu is incredibly overrated, in my opinion, and I think Pepperdine is honestly pretty overrated as well, as far as it goes. I mean, I couldn't be paying so much money to stay in a dorm that was built in the 70s and, hear every cough your neighbor, lets out because it's just so old, and it's in desperate need of renovation and update, in my opinion. But yeah, the views are great. It's not really walkable to anything. Obviously, there's no light rail infrastructure because that would never happen in Malibu. So you're going to need a car on campus, and, walking on campus, it's pretty hard. Very hilly, but a lot of green space. So I think it's nice. It's almost at a C, really, because I do think it is the highest out of all of these campuses in the D category, but I don't know if I can give it that C ranking. I mean, these two probably are interchangeable, but anyway, I don't know. There's a few here that are interchangeable. Nothing is set in stone, but this is kind of the ranking that I would fall on. As I visit more college campuses in California, I might update this, but definitely going to get a Washington list, a Colorado list, a Florida list, because I've just been to so many college campuses for no reason. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. Let me know what you think. If you would change the ranking around, let me know if you attended any of these schools and think it deserves a higher ranking or a lower ranking. I'd be really interested to hear your opinions. So thanks for sticking around this long if you have. It's probably my longest video by a long shot. So hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, I will see you again next week on Town, City, State.